It is pretty impressive how much stuff accumulates, garbage. And this is getting cleaner, but it's a week's long work to get this all cleaned out and things that are still useful rescued and stored away. There's still more there in the corner, but there's also useful material. So for example, the stuff that you see there in the back, this is insulation, 2 full bags, and we will use this to insulate the room for the new batteries in the Cortijo. So we have already some of the material. Maybe it's even enough. At least this will definitely reduce the condensation that we might get there, here and there. And this is not a good thing for batteries, so this should help. And yeah, you also see a mower here. This is a brand new mower, has been used a few times, but then the circumstances caused that this is not useful, but it might. So once we have an even space where no stones are lying around, then this definitely can be used again. So I'm looking forward to put this to use in the near future. Right now I'm using the string trimmer because the terrain doesn't lend itself to use this, but we have it and I hope that I can use it. So this is getting clean, and as you can see, the dogs can now feed indoors, kind of. And we have on the list sometime later to also fix the roof here. This gets basically an exoskeleton. So we add some metal posts and bars, and we have other tin that we can use. So this becomes a dry place. We have most of the bits and pieces, so just a question of finding an opportunity and do it. Little bits and pieces that will improve things. Also thinking about volunteers, once everything has its place and is better organized. Of course, anyone who wants to spend a little bit time here helping us and having a good time, they will also have it easier once the things are in good shape and it's clear where things are and where they go back to. So this is the pond in the future dog enclosure, and you can see we do have lemna here, duckweed. It is not full completely, but it's there. We placed it there from the other pond, and I guess when it warms up more and more, it will eventually fill the whole thing and then stay. So this is a very positive thing. I am cutting a little bit, not so much the grass, but the stuff that grows here, which happens to be these thistles that when it warms further up will then overwhelm the whole area. What I basically do is chop and drop. So before this plant, the weed, wins, I keep it low and nurture that way the other plants and also give them an opportunity. So I'm basically skewing the playing field towards the other plants so that these thistles will not win. And it's just a few days that I cut over there, and very soon I need to do it again. A little bit of sun and a lot of moisture definitely makes plants grow. So this is very positive to see. And for the time being, my goal here in the farmyard is to make this all grassy, basically growing alone, because every root counts. And even if later we modify things, it doesn't really matter. We have better soil. That's the whole point of this. I did this before in other areas and it turned out very well. So this is a very effective way to do it. And it's good for myself because I'm outside and do something instead of sitting in front of the computer only. So I want to have a little bit fun too. Hello everybody. This is going to be a little bit a special and very positive video. I'd like to announce an event. It is an event for a group of volunteers, 2 to 8 people, because that's the room that we have, up to 8, to plant something. And I will show you the site where I want to plant something, and who is interested, please contact me and we figure out the details. So this here is the area where I would like to plant something. We call this A17. There at the end it has also that well and the solar panels. And let me step in and explain a little bit what I would like to do. So this is a pretty good area that has good soil. I guess in the past people used this for some sort of a vegetable garden, and that is why it looks the way it looks. So what I want to do is I want to plant some rows of palovnia trees as a very first step, and these rows should be like that, so in parallel to the fence that is there. My goal is not to have a palovnia tree monoculture here. The palovnia trees are great for chop and drop. They provide shade, they also make roots, and they like the summer heat. So this is a multi-stage thing, what I have in mind. First, the palovnia trees, to have them establish and provide some shade, and then in between and underneath them, additional plants to create some agroforestry system, food forest type of thing. So the event that I would like to organize has the objective to plant the palovnia trees here in several rows, relatively densely planted, so not 4 or 5 meters in distance, but a little bit closer, so that we get more biomass and have something for chop and drop. The preparation would be that I take our excavator ahead of the event and loosen up the soil, because we learned that that is what we need to do, so that they can establish themselves quickly and actually do grow 2.5 meters in a year. And part of this event is also to enclose this area here. So as you see, it has a fence on that side and also on this side. So 2 sides are fenced in. And over here we have a fence that was okay while it was about cattle and the horses and so on. But now I want this to become a fence like the one right here on the other side. So this fence line I want to fix and make nicer and also straight. And the model of the fence is what you see here. So the lower part protects the area from pigs, and the bend and a string on the top, that is for larger animals, so that they don't jump in. We have the same thing in the Miyawaki forest. So here we would then build the same thing. There should be a door here. There was a gate, but as you can see, that fence post got destroyed. So we use different type of fence post, much thicker. And then we also built this part. So it's a mix between planting the palovnia trees and maybe a few other things. We need to figure this out, what is available and what we like to set, and building this fence. So this is the fence here on that side and also the fence there next to the driveway, so that the whole thing is completely closed and no pig will get in here to uproot what we plant. And of course then we also install the irrigation for summer, so we will take the irrigation from there, all this material, and basically move it to here. Same system, same wobblers, all fully automated. And I think the duration for this could be something like 2 weeks, given that all the things that we need are on site. Maybe we need a week more, but I would think 2 weeks doing this well prepared should be sufficient time for that. And it's also a question how many people would like to participate. I'm thinking about 2 to 8. 2 basically is a minimum and 8 is the maximum, because we have room for 8 people so that they can sleep. There are 2 rooms where people can sleep, so it would be 4 and 4 or any other mix that you would prefer. And this is how it could look like. We should talk, so who is interested, please send me an email. I will put the address down here. And then I will respond to everybody. We create a little mailing list and talk about the details and figure this out. The time frame for this would be end of April, beginning of May, because that is when the palovnia trees become available. They need higher temperature, and the nursery will not ship them when it is still too cold. And the sequence of doing things would probably be like that first we take care of the fence so that the area is protected. All the while this is being done, or I do this before, I run the excavator here and loosen up the soil in the tree rows. Then we install the irrigation, and the very last step would then be to set the trees, so that everything is in place and the trees then will not suffer. And like I said, maybe after the trees have been set, we add a few other things as ground cover, and there we can be creative and see what is available. We can also simply seed something, like we did over there in this area, and add Sunhemp and Friends and all this. So this is also an option. The grasses will come back anyway. So this is the first event that I would like to do, and maybe we can do another event and do some more things also with palovnia trees, but I guess we will then be in summer and then it's too hot and it's not the right moment, at least not when you are not used to the hot climate that we get in summer. It's already a bit late and the light is getting funny, but I wanted to show you this. We also have duckweed in here. You might remember that we had a failed attempt, and now we have duckweed in all the ponds. You can see it down there. around all the edges. There are frogs in here. This is our grey water pond, but there is life in here. And as I'm here, by the way, this is from the chicken. They take a dust bath there. And as I'm here, I can walk around a little bit and have a look at this trench here. So we do have standing water. It has rained and it will continue to rain according to the forecast. So this keeps saturated. Let's walk over here. So this new oak tree is growing. Of course here it's bare ground because the chicken scratched, but that's okay. And here on the other side, standing water. The sheep are somewhere there. This area will get some love later. So I think for autumn we might be able to do something here. It depends how things develop, but there are trees missing. We might even set a few palovnia trees over summer, so depends how things go. I have had a few conversations with some volunteers from who discovered us via different sources. So if all works out, we will have a full house. So this makes me very happy because I do enjoy company, and especially young company, because it's always a different perspective and we have interesting conversations. So I do enjoy this. And in my software development work I also have to do with a lot of young people, because most software developers are still very young. So 25, 30, around there, most. And I do enjoy this. Keeps the mind fresh. So it means if there is enough people around here, we can certainly keep planting over summer. Of course, it will be heat-loving things like the very same vetiver here, and also the palovnia trees, but those palovnias are great for chop and drop, and therefore, as a phase in the development of this wannabe food forest to become an actual food forest, a bunch of additional palovnias, let's say 30 or even 40, is not a bad thing, because they can be chopped and dropped and therefore create biomass and shade, and they might help other trees that are not so great during summer to establish better and continue growing and produce during summer. So that would be a very, very nice thing. And of course, I guess at some point I need to come here and also cut this down again. So my technique of cutting this frequently helps. It kind of suppresses this and makes room for plants that I consider more useful. So work with the weeds basically. So now you also have an update about this.